Jorheta Kokoshine, Detta al Betildesen, Novella Menamnen, Svensk Utkova.
In an episode where almost every element was discovered in Sweden, we begin with number 61, promethium, which was man made in a lab in the United States. It's named after the Greek titan Prometheus, who defied Zeus in a number of ways to help humans, most famously stealing the fire of Olympus. As punishment, he was chained to the rocks to have his liver devoured by eagles. Every day he would heal, and the eagles would return the next day to continue devouring his liver. Promethium is extremely radioactive, so it really contains the fire of the gods.
Number 62, samarium. This is the first element named after a person. It is named after some dude, specifically Colonel Vasily Samarsky-Bukovets. He was a Russian mining engineer in the 19th century. He gave an interesting rock to these two mineralogist brothers named Gustav and Heinrich Rose. They thought it was a very cool rock and that Samarsky was a nice guy, so they named the mineral samarskite. Then, when Paul-Émile François Lecoq de Boisbaudran discovered a new element in it, he remembered the criticism he received after the gallium controversy, so he played it as safe as possible and named the element after the mineral, which is how we ended up with samarium. The name Samarsky means from Samara, which is a region and river in Russia, but there's a whole bunch of different routes that could have led to the name Samara in that area. So my best guess is it's referring to the twirly oak seeds that fall down from trees. Number 63, europium. This element is named after Europe. It was named during a time when tensions were pretty high in Europe as countries were gearing up for World War I. Its name has some connection to Europa in Greek mythology. She was a princess who Zeus kidnapped while he was disguised as a bull by pulling her onto his back and then just swimming for Crete before she could let go. The name Europa has some connection to the ancient Mesopotamian word meaning west. Number 64, gadolinium. This element is also named after a person, albeit one with a better resume than having been nice to a geologist once. It's named after Johann Gadolin, a chemist who discovered element 39, yttrium. However, gadolinium was not named to honor a brilliant Swedish chemist. It was named after the mineral gadolinite. His last name, Gadolin, means great. Number 65, terbium. This element is named after Ytterby, the village in Sweden where these minerals were discovered. Previous elements we've talked about, yttrium, scandium, and gadolinium, were all discovered there, and there's more to come. Its name means outer village. It is located about here. Number 66, dysprosium. Its name comes from the Greek word dysprositos, which means hard to get. What you need to know about these rare earth elements that we're talking about today is that chemically they behave almost identical to each other, so they're incredibly hard to isolate. So, when Paul-Émile François Lecoq de Boisbaudran managed to isolate element 66, he basically named it unobtainium. Number 67, holmium. At this point, they had run out of ways to name elements after Ytterby, so they named it after the closest city, which was Stockholm. The name Stockholm means log island, supposedly called that because they protected their navigable waterways in the 11th century by plunging logs into the seabed, making them impassable for European merchants and warships, but no obstacle for Viking longships or Norse merchant vessels, which had shallower drafts. Number 68, erbium. I'm doing these in order of atomic number, not in the way that is narratively the funniest. But looking at the periodic table and seeing yttrium, ytterbium, terbium, and erbium, you just have to admire their dedication to keep naming elements after this tiny village with no cultural significance. It's just a geological anomaly. Number 69, thulium. This is named after a mythological land in Greek writing in the furthest frozen north called Thule.
Since Scandinavia is as far north as anyone cares to go, they said, yeah, this is pretty much Thule. And since they'd run out of Iterby names to assign to new elements, they went with Thule. Number 70, Ytterbium. This has to be a prank. Who allowed these clowns to look at every element named after Iterby, every element named after the nearby city or the region where Iterby sits, and said, one more. We need one more named after this tiny village that has probably never had more than 3,000 people live there, whose name means outer village, needs more representation on the periodic table.
Subscribe for elements discovered in warmer places.